Night Owls with Alan Robson.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
We want your calls right now on domestic violence. Why did she knock your teeth out in the first place?
Because she got drunk.
She got drunk, right. So she punched you, knocked your teeth out, and then what did you do?
I told her, hit us again, I'll hit you back.
Right.
So she hit us again.
So you smacked that one. Did you,
Yeah.
did you do her any damage?
I broke her jaw.
You broke her jaw, right. So presumably she didn't try and hit you after that. Then the police were called. You were arrested. And how long did you go for?
I was in for remand
Right.
for 2 weeks, and I'm on bail.
There, now, you see, two sides of a difficult coin, which tells you, if you're wise enough, you don't raise your hand no matter what is coming at you. Hardest thing in the world. Hardest thing in the world. So we would love to get your calls about domestic violence in whichever direction it comes. And also, just a quick reminder that back with Rossi tomorrow morning for breakfast, he's going to be playing our Morning Mouldy Mystery Oldie. Now, this is driving you mad. I already know this. It's a mystery hit. You've got to work out what it is. There have been 320 wrong guesses so far. Now, that means that the jackpot's now £7,400. That would do you very nicely this Christmas. So get ahead this weekend. Check out all the wrong guesses on our website and get on our Facebook page, Greatest Hits Radio, for a brand new clue. The Morning Mouldy Mystery Oldie returns with Rossi early hours of tomorrow morning, 7:30 and 8:30 on Greatest Hits Radio. Anyway, let's get cracking. We have Alison from Anfield Plain. Hello, Alison.
Hi there, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Well, we're talking Christmas rage, kind of. How's it? I thought everybody gets warm and, I love everybody because it's Christmas. It's not quite like that yet, is it?
No, it's not, and it's not really. It's not really on the rage level. It's more the mad.
Right.
It makes me mad. It equally makes me sad. So it's kind of. It's just the pressure that everybody seems to put on themselves to buy gifts and put themselves into debt and kind of go down the commercial route of Christmas. And it just gets me really, really mad because the number of people already who've kind of expressed to me, this Christmas, we're putting a limit on it. We're only spending £20. And it's like they're feeling bad that they can't afford to buy these gifts. And it just makes me really mad to think that society's got to that and it's so commercialised now.
But hang on just a second. Emergency, a Fred Flintstone emergency stop, Because if you say to your partner, tell you what, let's not get each other gifts this Christmas. And it's a fair thing to say. I mean, do you really need more stuff? Probably not. So you say, okay, let's not get anybody anything. I guarantee you on Christmas Day, that other person's thinking, well, I know he's going to get me something, so I'll get him a few little bits and pieces. And before you know where you are, you're at the same place you would have been if you hadn't have said, let's not get anything for each other. Because there's nothing worse than finding on Christmas Day that you stayed true to it and she's got you 5 parcels all wrapped up with nice wrapping. I mean, you're in an untenable position under those circumstances, aren't you?
That's kind of where the competition comes in and where people start feeling bad about what they buy and that never feels that it's enough and never feel that that one little gift is kind of enough. Mm-hmm. So that exactly what you said there, that's what gets people into the thing, well, just buy something, I'll just spend another, if I only spend 20 quid, is that enough? Should I spend 50? And people feel bad about it, and it's just so sad that that's what we've kind of come to. The other
thing we should mention, I think, as well, is food, because it's November. I was in a supermarket full. I mean, you're getting battered by trolleys to the left and to the right. This was a full supermarket, and it was about 6:20 on a Thursday night. You think, don't people have anything better to do than this? So anyway, I'm in the supermarket, and you go up looking for a loaf of bread. No, I'm sorry, loaf of bread. Staff of life. You can't go wrong. All the bread's
The
gone.
everyday stuff.
All the bread's gone. Why is all the bread gone? Well, it's Christmas. People are buying it in. It only lasts, 4 days, 5 days, then you're getting green bits on it. What?
They must
I
have
don't get it.
freezers the size of it.
What? In the turkey thing. Now, Christmas dinner, do I care whether it's turkey or a bit of chicken? No. Honestly?
No, we have chicken.
Chicken's fine. Chicken's lovely.
Yep.
What's wrong with chicken? But instead, and this is just looking over my shoulder at the way that my parents had to get the big bird.
Yeah.
They had to have enough turkey off that damn thing. And I remember my mum once saying, the turkey's too big to get in the oven. I'm going to have to either cut it in half or find somebody who's got a cooker that's big. She found a cooker 4 doors up from where she was. The woman had a cooker, slid her some money for the gas. The woman cooked the turkey. This is like 3 days before Christmas. And then she says, well, I'll warm it up on the day. Kind of defeats the object, but okay. But she had to have this huge turkey because the whole family would come round. About 6 members of family came round over the entire period. None of them ate turkey. You know, it was just those people in the house.
Yeah.
And then you've got blasted turkey sandwiches, turkey curry, turkey this, turkey that. Oh.
But it was kind of back then. It was more about feeding your family, wasn't it? Like
Well, the idea
that
was
when you had the special things.
Yeah, the Marks and Spencer's family. Cause
Yeah.
And I've never seen a family like that in my life. Not in the Robson households. But the idea was, because we only had a table big enough for 4 people. So, and then you had to fold the wings out just to make just to make that happen, because that was the only table we had. And if you were going to put it up, you had to put it out half in the room and half in the hall. You know, one person had to be actually in the hall so you could see the letterbox, while everybody else was in the warm room, you know, next to the gas fire.
We had a little camping table that used to sit next to the big table that the kids used to kneel on the floor. And we had our dinner kneeling on the floor because we were like the little people.
But my mother used to say, well, the whole family will be round and I'm going to have to feed them. And the only thing she ever had to do was, like, make a couple of sandwiches and dig out a couple of pork pies. And that was about 4 days after Christmas. And, you know, in that, I don't know what I've got to do now phase in between Christmas and New Year. Nobody's got a clue what you're supposed to do
or what day it is. Or
no, I know all of that. It's just, it's a time when I think people do appear to be trying to be a little kinder than they normally are. And I'm absolutely in favour of that at any time of year. If people are nicer, let's have nicer, by all means. But what can we do to make it better? Because I've never, and now, from about the 6th of November, the day after bonfire night, I've noticed every supermarket didn't just suddenly have Christmas stuff in. They had Christmas aisles of stuff. I mean, aisles and aisles of Christmas stuff.
And they take away a lot of their freezer section and just fill it with all these party food.
It doesn't
eat party food from now till next January.
And it doesn't feed you, and it's expensive, and you think, could you do another thing? Now, I feel guilty because I'm going to run down an old woman now. Aunt Bessie.
Oh, yes.
Aunt Bessie. You can either have 12 Aunt Bessie Yorkshire puddings, because it might be Christmas, but you've got to have a Yorkshire on there. So you can either have your 12 Aunt Bessie Yorkshires or 4 big uns for roughly the same price, right?
Of Tesco's own make, sorry, or any other brand.
All right, yeah. Oops. Yeah, keep me right. No, you're quite right, but I'm particularly picking on that woman because you don't need to buy any of them.
Yeah.
Because can't people make a Yorkshire pudding?
That's
Even I can make a Yorkshire pudding. You know this, and I'm hopeless. But if you know yourself, if you went to a restaurant like a Carvery, they've got Yorkshire puddings that are, well, a gnome could live underneath one.
Yes,
you know
pan lid size.
They're huge damn things, but yet the ones you buy in the shops and stores, they're either plate size if you go for the big ones, or the little tiny tray ones.
Tiny things.
You can make your own, and they
Yeah.
can be those cricky, big, gnarly. You're never quite sure what you're going to get, which is half the fun. We've got more cooking programs on than ever before, and we instead we're still going well, it's £1 and I can get a hot pot. Let's have a hot.
Yeah.
Hey, there's carrots and mince and all sorts in the hot pot, and I just think we should be a bit more, involved. Because if you make your own, it's first of all it tastes better, it's fresher. You've just made it as well, so you're feeling really good about it.
Yeah.
We should do more of that stuff.
It's even like prepared vegetables and things like that. Like it all costs so much money, and it's just something that just a little bit of time. I know I had to consciously think not that long back that I thought, right, I'm not, because you do it for speed and you do it for convenience. And I made that conscious decision of saying, right, no more like ready prepared vegetables and things like that. Because one day I just decided to tot up what I'd spent on ready prepared stuff and what I would be spending on
Fresh.
just getting them loose.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it was unbelievable because you think, oh, it's just £1 for a bag of carrots, that's fine. But then for how many carrots you can actually buy and prepare them yourself.
But they don't even taste like proper carrots.
They don't.
The real
They don't,
proper
but it's
carrot
what they wash them in, isn't it?
from the ground, and then you easy as pie. You put them in water, you get them hot, you eat them with a little bit of butter if you've got any sense.
Yeah, you can always tell as well if you try them raw.
Oh.
So if you crunch on a raw carrot, if you crunch on one of those pre-prepared ones, it's really strange.
Yeah,
it's the difference.
Well, you see,
it is, doesn't it? A big difference.
One of the previous Mrs. Robsons, who shall remain nameless because she's cost me enough, is one of the things that they used to do was they would buy the big, I don't know what physical size, but a huge bag of cauliflower, say, sprouts in the freezer. You couldn't get in for veg.
Yeah.
And because it was there, blocking the fridge freezer, it was every time I ate anything, it had a cauliflower on it. I mean, I'd have a curry, stick some cauliflower on it. I had pie and chips, bit of cauliflower on it. It's wrong. It's just, well, we've got thousands of them. Stick one on with. I half expected Frosties. But a cauliflower. It wouldn't have surprised me. No, baked beans, stick a cauliflower on it. What? But it's just, well, I've got so many, and I'm trying to clear up the freezer. You can understand why I've been divorced so often. That's the thing.
It makes for a colourful life.
Well, there's that. But again, the one thing that I'll remember from the youngest that I can, 4- and 5-year-old, you know, when you're just starting to understand things. I remember going to my nana's house in Leamington, my mum's mum, and she said, come up for your Sunday dinner. And I was a bit worried because I'd only ever had my mum's Sunday dinner. I'd only been having that for about a year properly. Before that, you'd just get a few little bits of vegetables. You know, she wouldn't give you like a full one. And so I went up, and it was the most beautiful Sunday dinner. It knocked me mother's out the park because me nana's son, me Uncle Bill, had an allotment. And all the stuff that I ate that Sunday came out of the garden in the morning. And it was, even the peas were podded. Oh, blimey. You could talk about a taste sensation. Just real vegetables, new veg. You know, it's a world of difference from the kind of stuff you get elsewhere. And I've been to the odd carvery where you can see that the vegetables are tinned.
Yes, because they're all the same size and they're the same,
Exactly so. And you're thinking, the peas are tinned, the carrots are tinned, the potatoes, well, they've cooked them in such a way that they could probably get away with it any which way. And they could even be packet, you know, because they come across in there. You know, the roast potatoes, if you've got dentures, you got no chance with that, sucker, I'll tell you. But no, I just think that we're bottling out when it comes to cooking. And
Yeah,
I
we
know
are.
I know people that are saying Christmas this year we're going to have out at the pub. We've already booked up and we're going to pay.
Astronomical amount of money.
It's only £37 a head, and you go, whoa, whoa, what? And then you think, what could you get each for 37 quid if you bought stuff in the house? You'd be set for a month if if you're careful with that kind of dosh. And there's, oh no, we don't want to spend much, so we're going to the pub. And you think, right, 11 lagers later, I don't know what that's gonna be. Jeebus.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
our Christmas dinner is basically, it's just a little bit of fancy Sunday dinner.
that's exactly what it is. It's a fancy Sunday dinner. Three cranberries on the side that you don't like anyway, and you push them to one side.
Yeah, and it's like, it's like tonight. I've had the family round today, and we've like on the lead up to Christmas, like making my little like pigs in blankets myself, just like that. But it's kind of like a Sunday dinner now. Like you put parsnips on, you do roast vegetables, do rather than just your basic. Like when I was younger, it was kind of you had your cauliflower, your peas, your carrots, your bit turnip, and that was kind of it. But now it's like a little bit fancy. Like what I call fancy, all year round.
Yeah.
The Christmas dinner it's just the cracker. And now I don't even put crackers. We have little games instead because I don't like all the plastic and all the
bits.
Things that are in crackers because it just costs a fortune.
And the thing that I know, and I know it's going to happen in probably 3 out of every 4 houses around, not just the north, but around the Western world anyway, is that thing where it's Christmas, so you've had to go an ounce further. So, yes, you've got all your Sunday dinner stuff, but separate. It hasn't arrived in a plate. You've got a bowl of sweet corn. We don't normally have sweet corn, but there's a bowl of it there. You've got a bowl of peas and a bowl of carrots and then a bowl of stuffing, just in case you don't like it. The pigs in the blankets and all of that kind of stuff. The turkey's on the table, which means there's no room for anybody to get a plate on there. It's just, well, why would you? Why?
I have to
What's the
confess,
benefit
I do that every time.
And because it's Christmas, you got to.
No, I do it every Sunday. Every time we have a Sunday dinner.
No.
And I only do this, and this is where my life changed a little bit because I got a dishwasher, and my life changed. It completely changed.
I must fill all my dishes.
I got so excited. I bought serving bowls, and it's like now every Sunday's dinner is like. So Christmas is nothing special now.
But what do you do with? Because I mean, after your dinner, you must have 2/3 of the sweet corn still left, 2/3 of the peas, 2/3 of. What do you do with it all?
Well, normally it kind of goes into one dish and gets put in the fridge and have that the next day for a fry or something. Or
right, a bit of panhackledy or whatever you choose to call it. Which is all very good, but it's waste, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, but it's the dishwasher.
A woman's got to.
If I had to wash those dishes, everybody would get a plate, and that would be it. It would be dished out the pans, and I would even have my pressure cooker so I could share a pan.
Yeah, because you see, the problem that you're getting is everybody, when you see all of that out there, your head goes into Buffy mode, and you go, oh, Buffy, I've got to put all of this on my plate, and then you think, oh, there's a nice bit of turkey there. I'll have that bit. Oh, there's another nice bit. Keep it going. Save me going back later. And then by the time you're finished, you've got a mountain on there. And I'm sorry, but there's going to be a third left of that when you're finished on the plate. And because you're in buffet mood. And it's must have.
Well, I had to reduce the size of my serving dishes, I must admit. The first ones that I bought, and then it gets to the point where, depending how many there is of us here, sometimes the serving dishes has like kind of parsnips in one side, roast potatoes in the other.
Right, so, I see. You're doubling up.
I'm getting to the point now where I can get my portions right, because at first I had to fill the serving dishes.
Right. Where
now I can jiggle it a bit, but.
What do you do about puddings then? And I know it's another serving dish. We've got plenty. But at Christmas, everybody's. Oh, but you've got to have a pudding at Christmas. Even if you wait, you have your dinner 2 hours later. Do you want your pudding now? And everybody's sitting there going, No, please.
We normally have like ice cream or apple pie or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that,
Oh,
rather
that's
than
all right.
something like heavy.
Yeah. No,
And
good move.
everybody's finished their dinner and just goes, oh. And we tend to have the pudding for tea, because we've got a little ritual now, because we've got no younger kids in the family.
Right.
So we decided Christmas morning. It's really boring Christmas morning when you've kind of just a couple of people in the house. So we get up and we take the dogs to the beach at South Shields.
Oh, that's nice. Good.
And
Nice
it's
move.
honestly it's one of the best things that I've ever done. There's a couple of times we've bumped into like some elderly couples, or sometimes it's just somebody walking around on their own.
Yeah.
And you stop and you have a conversation, you wish them Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And there was this one couple that walked with us a couple of years ago, and they kind of walked along the beach. We had a puppy at the time and an older dog.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, oh, we've got no family, we've got no children, we've got no nothing, and we've come here. And we talked to them for about an hour, and it was honestly, that made Christmas for us. So it's kind of a tradition now.
And it would have made Christmas for them too, is the thing.
It's a beautiful thing. If anybody's thinking about what to do on Christmas morning, even if you don't have a dog, go for a walk on the beach.
Yeah, I love it.
I couldn't believe how busy it is. For one, it's busy. It's not quiet. But everybody is the same kind of opinion. Everybody's just there to wish people happy Christmas and to have a conversation and just say hello and smile. And everybody's in a totally different. Because normally people walk past each other on a normal day and you don't even have eye contact. You might give the odd nod of the head, but it's a magical thing to do on Christmas morning.
No, it sounds a fabulous way to do it. You sound like you've kind of got it under control, though.
Oh yeah, I have now, but it's taken a lot of years to get to that. And I'm always very conscious of with my two are older now. I've got one that's nearly 30 and one that's 26, and I'll say to them, they don't have to buy me gifts. Right. And they don't have to bring a gift to be there for Christmas.
Right.
Because I always say it as if it's going to make you short, I'd rather you bought something for yourself.
Absolutely. No, I
rather than
totally
for somebody else. So I have kind of, but it's taken it quite a bit. When the kids were little, it was difficult, and so it's taken a lot of years to get there, but to see other people struggling so much is awful.
It's terrible. And this is the thing, you're going, you've got a trolley full, and then on your way out the shop, you see the food bank, and you think...
can't imagine. And there's so many people need that now. It's it's kind of it's not the minority anymore.
It's a strange world we've turned into. But I remember, you're talking about the kids, when you had small kids, it was a different game. I remember that thing from about 3 or 4 years ago where they showed a photograph of a woman's house and you couldn't see a tree because it was surrounded with presents on all sides up to the height of a Christmas tree for her kids. And she says, I've been buying a present a day since last January. And you think, you're an idiot. The kids will play with 3 of them. All the rest will be forgotten about and unwanted. And that's because that's what kids do. They don't...
Yeah. Well, it's like when you look back and somebody says to you, what's the best present you've ever got? You can only pick a few things out throughout your whole life. You can't, there's no way you can remember all them things. And I always say, I think the best presents come from people when you're not expecting them. And Christmas, people get that they're expecting
you're waiting for
them.
it, aren't you? And on top of that, I think one of the best things about Christmas is that you can give time to somebody. And sometimes if you haven't been able to give time to that person because you're working hard or whatever, just give you time. And
just sit together. Just
Yeah.
Play. I love board games. We've got a cupboard full of board games.
Right.
And like I always say over Christmas, we're good. And it's the really cheesy, like really
No,
old
but it works.
board games.
Brings everybody together. It's
Yeah,
great.
and I've got a huge table, and we just say, right, get round the table, and not. There's very few people in my family drink. We're all teetotalers, so it's kind of get loads of pop, lots of like nice drinks in, and we just sit and play games and. Well, I do loads of videos and stuff like that. So take videos of people laughing and having a good time, and I think that's priceless. That's better than any gift that anybody could give anybody.
Well said, Alison. Hey, lovely talking to you. Thanks for coming on, darling.
You too. Take care, Alice.
Take it easy. I've got to play something for her that kind of sums up that moment when you get it right. It's about once every 10 years you'll get one present just absolutely right.
This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest hits radio.
Wherever you happen to be upon the planet that is Earth, 0191 488 3188, or you could text Alan, A-L-A-N, text Alan plus your message to 61054 if you want to text something in. 61054 if you would be so kind. And don't forget, and top 10 at 10 tomorrow morning, 10 songs from the same year. Can you guess the year? No help from Google, please. We always say that when we're doing our Blade Runner super quizzes that we'll have to bring back in the fullness of time. Mark Goodyear tomorrow, top 10 at 10. Don't miss it. It is actually great fun just hearing all of that music from that one moment in your life when it was all happening. That's the joy of the greatest hits. So let's crack on. We've got Ed, who is in Newcastle. Ed James. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. Thank you for calling. What can we do for you today?
I was asked to come on the show by Tony.
Right, okay.
I'd sent in me Christmas song. You might remember he interviewed me about 18 months ago before the Belfast Ian Prowse and
yes, I remember all of that. Absolutely.
And Brian and all those guys, and I was the guy who had to stand with his back to the audience because I was too shy to sing. You might remember.
I do. Hey, it was good to hear from you, Ed. It's all coming back. I am just loading your single now. I'm coming home for Christmas. Is it the old I'm Coming Home for Christmas that people have had hits with, or is it a different version?
No, it's called Christmas is Coming.
Christmas is Coming, I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Right.
Let no one be alone. It's like a cross between Tinkerbell and New York rock.
Right. So what gave you the idea of putting a tune together for Christmas then?
I've done a couple the last couple of years. To be honest, it's something that I just sort of enjoy doing. You know, I've got that many songs in my locker. I'm always recording stuff, and I just had the idea to sort of put a song together that linked the joy of Christmas with some of the pain that always goes with it as well, but not in too depressing a way because it's
no, but you're quite right. It's a bittersweet time, isn't it? Really.
It is. So it's a nice bouncy song with a very strong hook, and it's when the chorus comes in, it's very sort of New York rock, a bit like the Ramones, you know, and the rest of it's very Tinkerbell.
Right. So where can people get a hold of this if they're interested in it? Then Ed?
It's on the usual platforms, Spotify and iTunes and stuff. So
right, all of that. Okay, so how are you spending Christmas? Are you home? Are you away? Because I gather you're in a hotel at the moment. Tony's just said in my headphones.
Yes, I am. I've got a meeting in Leeds tomorrow, so I'm just getting a jump on that. So Christmas is family, so I'm not playing anywhere. So I'm just busy. I'm busy recording my new album, my third album. Excellent. And I'm sort of in and out of the studio with that. I've just set my home studio up so I can do a load of videos for festivals and stuff for next year. So I'm going to be pretty busy doing that. But Christmas is just family.
No, it is.
Pretty big family.
We'll give a blast to a bit of your song. Let everybody have a chance to hear it. Thank you for coming on, though, Ed. Lovely to hear from you, mate. All the very best to you. Bye-bye. And let's have just a tiny little glimpse of Ed James, if you want to check him out.
This year has been a test, not the worst, certainly not the best. I've gone through a separation. There's been heartache and frustration, but I found strength to get me through, just like I always do. I was a long way from to be. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home for Christmas this year. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
There you go. Good efforts from Ed. He's coming home. Nice grabby hook there, too. We wish him well with that. And what else are you guys talking about? Christine from Wallsend is up next. Hello, Christine.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. What are you talking about tonight?
Christmas rage.
Oh, blame me. Oh, let it out. What's what's happened?
Was last Christmas. I was in the Christmas week. I was in the supermarket getting last minute bits.
Yeah.
And there was two people in front of me, and I had two trifles full to the top.
Right.
And I was standing in the queue, and I thought, well, I've got to get I've had the basket, and they sort of had these trolleys. So I think I'm going to stand here for hours.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nightmare. And it's the last minute Christmas buyers. They're just hiring anything. Oh, I'm not bothered, so now I've got to put it right in a night. I mean, it's just not likely, is it?
I know. I think, well, I'll just sort of get what I need for a couple of days, and that's it. But, I just think, I've really got to put all this stuff,
Yeah. No, absolutely. And everybody says that, they're concerned, oh, well, the fridge is full and the freezer's full and the cupboards are full. Well, okay, that's lovely to know, but are you really going to eat all of that? And if you're not going to eat it, what are you going to end up having to throw away after, you leave it a fortnight to 3 weeks and you haven't had it yet and everything starts going off? Because as I said, the guy at the shop saying they're buying bread and freezing it now. And I said, is there going to be a bread shortage over Christmas? And he says, well, of course not. It'll be the same as, the rest of the year. And you think, why do people do all? And we're not helped by the press. It's going to be the coldest winter in 1,000 years. And oh, blimey, I'll need 3 trolleys full of bread now. I'm going to have to buy another freezer just for bread. Oh, dear. Madness, isn't it?
I know.
I mean, are you in a position now where you're done? Is it nailed or what?
I haven't thought about it. I haven't sort of been well, but having heart failure and a lot of health problems. I just haven't even thought about it. I mean, my sons are growing up, and I'll have to have my mum for Christmas. So
yeah.
I just sort of people being starting for weeks because I'm going to have to go get the Christmas shopping and buying all these expensive things, gifts and stuff. I think, well, it's just crazy, To me, that's what Christmas is all about, is buying all the expensive gifts.
It's not about that. And that's always the thing that's got me into trouble. I'll buy something that you think somebody wants without having spoken to them about it. I've got exactly what you want. I heard you mention it about 24 weeks ago, and they don't want it now. They maybe fancied it at the time. You've spent all your time getting it, but they're not bothered about it. And you've spent all of that money. Oh, you're in big trouble if you do that, especially when you don't have a lot of money, So
yeah.
You'll take that back. Have you still got the receipt? Well, yeah, but I bought it in September. And will they still take it back? Well, it's not opened. Oh, and then you get into... There's nothing worse than I'm taking your gift back on, Boxing Day. Oh, that's not good.
No.
No, not good at all. But hey-ho, it is what it is, and we'll get through it together. That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
I mean, do you look forward to a present, or do you plant the idea in people's minds? How do you deal with it?
No, I mean... I'm sort of not bothered, I just sort of they say people, well, obviously, I haven't got a big family because most of the family's passed away. So I only sort of buy 2 sons, my husband and my mum. Just some just sort of little, so that's how so for Christmas Day. But I'm just sort of. I'm just not bothered. I just say, don't waste your money,
No, absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. Don't waste your money. Be very careful. And I love the idea of saying, well, we'll just stick to, and then you put a number on it. Some people say the £20 thing, just no more than £20, just as a token. And then as soon as you get to Christmas Day, the other party spent £30 and you only spent £20 and hers is better than yours. You're looking like a turkey now, aren't you? And you can't go right for doing wrong, I think, on Christmas. It's a tough festival because most people in real terms, you know, if it's something that they needed, they've already got it. If it's something that they want, 9 times out of 10, you can't afford it. You know, yes, we'd all love a new car or a 56-inch flat screen thing. And even with, Black Friday that everybody's talking about, it's still not possible to get everything for everybody. There's just not enough money on the planet for that. We just got to be realistic and not wasteful. Because I think that's the thing. We spend so much on crap. By the time you've spent on stuff that nobody really gives a monkeys about, the things you can live without. Do you really need a bucket of Haribo? I mean, a bucket. There's a big plastic bucket of Haribo there. Oh, and next to the big plastic bucket of Haribo, you can get a big plastic bucket of candy bananas. Do you really need? I mean, I'm a diabetic, so they could take me out. Just half an ale in a shop could take me out. But do you really need to buy those kind of amounts?
I know. I mean, obviously Black Friday, I think it's just crazy. You know, it's I don't see any sense in it.
Well, if we got proper bargains, and because the thing that I've noticed is if you go in the shops 3 months before Christmas, you can actually pick up some, there's certain shops, and you know the names of the ones we're talking about, that you can go in and your food's a little bit cheaper and there's stuff for sale, the Aldi Rose, the B&M's. There's a lot of shops along those lines that sell other stuff, and you can normally get a bargain. Then when it comes to Black Friday, the prices have gone up, so they can come down for Black Friday. Well, what's that about? You put them up for 3 months so that nobody buys them, so that on Black Friday everybody buys them. That to me is just senseless. But it seems to be what people do. But are you going to buy anything? I mean, was Black Friday yesterday, or is it this Friday?
I think it's this Friday.
This Friday coming. Are you going to get anything?
No, I'm on like they say on benefits, so I don't get only like sort of week after.
Right.
So I mean, Christmas is a hard time for me.
Sure, I bet.
So
you're gonna battle through as best you can.
Yeah.
Because it's what you do, absolutely. Hey, well, love to you. Thank you for coming on, Christine. I hope it's a lovely one.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, darling. Good luck to you. The whole benefit thing, nightmare. Because everybody still wants, isn't that the fact? We have Paul. I have inadvertently done something stupid, in a way. Tony said there's a guy on a line. He's trying to get in touch. There's his single. I'm coming home for Christmas. Just played you a clip of it. That wasn't the song from Ed, who was on before. It was actually Paul Martin's single, who's in the Vermont Hotel. Hiya, Paul.
Hi, Alan. How are you, mate?
I'm good. I haven't spoken to you for the longest time. Great to hear from you again. And even better to know that I've inadvertently played your track. That's a great chorus.
Well, thank you, mate. A long time no here, and thanks that you've played my song. I didn't realise. Amazing. Thank you, mate. You've always been a good guy, and you've always helped me out. Thank you.
Never a problem. What have you been up to then, Paul?
Well, since I last saw you, how do I sum it up? I've been living in Mallorca for 8 years.
Wow, what's it like? Good?
It's been fantastic. A great place to live. Fantastic. But I'm here for Christmas, believe it or not, doing pantomime.
Right, brilliant. Oh, which panto are you in?
It's Cinderella at the Exchange in North Shields.
Oh, excellent. Great.
So, the first pantomime ever, and guess what? I've got to wear a dress. I'm an ugly sister, can you believe it?
That's great. You'll have a right laugh with it.
Oh, it's funny, yeah.
Talking about abroad, though, I mean, how easy was it for you to get settled in a new country?
Oh, it was all right, you know. Being a singer, you just go over there and just start singing and tell everyone you can do a show for them. But, I mean, to be fair, my kids, they were so young when we went out there, and now they're fluent in Spanish, so best thing we ever did for them, really.
So presumably, do you have an area that you work, or do you work across the country then?
Well, obviously, I've been in Mallorca since 8 years.
Right.
But
you could work right away around the coast there, I'm guessing.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, with Mallorca, the one thing that has always been a problem is once the tourism dies, you're literally quiet.
Sure, across Christmas.
So, and also, one thing that's always been frustrating is there's no direct flights.
Right.
So from the end of October to November, you can't actually get from Mallorca to Newcastle.
Ooh, so where'd you go?
Oh, it's a nightmare.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester, or you've got to fly to Barcelona, and then Barcelona to Newcastle. There's not an easy way. It's always been a hard way.
Right.
But to be fair, I always thought it was going to get better, but it's actually got worse.
Crazy.
I always thought it was going to get.
I always thought that there was like a hardcore crowd that were looking to go where it's slightly warmer. So yes, and I know it's not hot,
yeah,
but it's still downside warmer than it is where we are. So I thought there was still a market for people to travel out.
There is in Benidorm, for instance.
Yeah.
And you know, Benidorm is no hotter than Mallorca, but because you can get to Benidorm, it's always busy.
That's
the way it is.
Crazy. Hey, well, I'm glad you're enjoying a happy life. How long's your run in Shields?
I'm doing from the 3rd to the 22nd in North Shields Exchange.
Brilliant.
And honestly, what a great bunch of people. Honestly, I'm loving it. Fantastic.
So let's hope a lot of people go down and see you. Great talking to you, Paul. Stay well,
Thank
mate.
you, Alan. It's really nice to speak to you again.
Bless your heart. You take it easy. Bye-bye. There is Paul Martin. My goodness. Played his tune. I'm going to play a tune. What can we play for him? He's in Panto. He's dressing like a woman.
Call Alan Robson's Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And we're going to be asking you on Greatest Hits, what is the greatest Christmas hit of all time? Funnily enough, I'm going to have a conversation with Roy Wood from Wizard and the movie he was in, of course, and the Yellow. Going to be talking to him soon. But you've got to let us know your favourite at greatesthitsradio.co.uk. We could end up giving you a smart speaker in time for Christmas as a present from us to you. Let us know who's got your vote, and we'll kick off Christmas on Greatest Hits Christmas with the greatest Christmas hit as chosen by you from Monday at 9 a.m. Check that out. Right. As you know, we have a challenge on the Night Owls programme. You can either get acceptance for any joke you send in, or if it's a real dodgy joke, you can go down the Night Owls netty, and I can prove this, in fact. For this has come in from Sandra, who is currently living in Chelmsford. It says, you asked for jokes the other week. I hope you're still doing them. Why aren't koalas actual bears? Why aren't koalas actual bears? Because they don't have any qualifications. There you go. No netty for that. Nice one. And, this one's from Eddie. A man goes to see the Geordie doctor and he says, Doctor, my armpits smell of coconut. And the doctor says, they're bounty. Oh, dear. Yeah, you see. There you checked out one of each side. So which side of the divide is your favourite joke? Share it with us. Been talking about domestic violence. Still want to talk to you about it. But our next caller is Bob, and he's in Anfield playing. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm very well, mate. What you got for us tonight, then?
Well, it was just I was looking at the Facebook page, and it was asking about what what drives us insane at Christmas, and for me, it's the Christmas TV ads. They just it's first thing. I want to make it plain. I'm not a Scrooge.
Right. Okay.
I used to. As a child, I loved Christmas. Christmas as a child was magical. But as I've got older, maybe I've lost some of the magic of it, maybe. But it just seems that the first thing that happens is you start going into shops and you get all the Christmas decorations. And that's bad enough. And then you get the Christmas music, which is fine, except for you hear it everywhere. But it's that final straw when you turn on the telly and you get the Christmas ad. And once upon a time, it was all about it. You sat there waiting for the John Lewis ad, and now you've got McDonald's, you've got Sainsbury's, you've got Iceland,
Marks
you've got
Spencer's
Matala. Everybody seems to be doing a Christmas ad. And when you watch some of these Christmas ads, you think, what on earth has it got to do with Christmas? I mean, it's a bit like the John Lewis one at the moment with the dragon that sets light to things. It doesn't really make much sense to me.
I think it's because it's been a year of stuff like Game of Thrones, you know, the last year of Game of Thrones. Maybe they think, oh, here's a good idea. But I think because of the nature of television now, we're actually past Game of Thrones now, I think. Most people are kind of that was a moment in time, but we're past it now. Let's do something else. So I'm not sure that...
It's the next thing, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. So I'm not sure whether that will work. Mind you, I do think what television does do is absolutely no favour to the parent, because some of the adverts for toys, there's one that I just saw literally before I left the house today, and it's a 2-part advert. First of all, there's a teddy bear called For Real, and it's the not confused teddy bear. It's like it asks you questions and stuff, and it looks like the kind of teddy that probably knows more than you do. You're going to want to really rearrange its furry face by the time you're finished for the For Real teddy. And then the next one, it's like a Barbie or some doll of whatever, and it's like a multi-story garage and hotel complex kind of thing, and you're thinking, how the hell is anybody going to afford? You know, it's hard enough affording the doll, but now, no, we want the entire hotel and car parking complex, please, with the wind-up lift. What?
Exactly.
Shapers. What little girl's not going to want that, though? Do you know what I mean?
And then once you've got the hotel, you need the car, and then the horse and the stable, and
But that was the Action Man all over, wasn't it? It started off, all you needed was a tin hat and a rifle, and by the time you were finished, you had the motorboat, you had the Jeep, you had the caravan you stayed in, and all of that kind of gear. It's just a bottomless pit waiting for you to take a step into, I think.
But see, I remember as a kid growing up with the likes of Action Man, and the fact that every time you bought, whether it was a card with the uniform on or whether it was an Action Man or something, it came with stars, and you collected the stars, and you could then trade the stars for other Action Man or different accessories.
Right, I remember
and
that.
And yet, modern toys, you don't do that. All it is, it's all about the commercial aspect of making money.
Absolutely.
It's a bit like you were saying just before I came on, that you were talking about Christmas songs and Christmas singles.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation with my wife the other day, and once upon a time there was that magic of what's going to be number one at Christmas, and it was always going to be a magical Christmas song or whatever, whether it be Slade or whoever.
Yeah.
And nowadays it's all who's the X Factor winner.
Killed Christmas musically, that whole thing, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just that, you see, I don't care. And it's not that I don't wish new bands well coming through, but it's just not fair. It's not fair on everybody who releases a good bit of music at Christmas, because no matter how good it is, it's not going to get there. And I remember when everybody said, I tell you what, let's persuade Rage Against the Machine to release a track. You know, the heaviest, loudest, you'll never hear this on the radio kind of song. And unless you're on Kerrang or one of those rock stations, and let's persuade them to put it out. We'll vote for that as like a two fingers to the X Factor, and it got there. It got to number one. But they're lurking at number two was, here, and it'll be number one next week. And you go, ugh. It's just, you talk about commerciality. Yes, because if you think about just common, straightforward fairness, if you own a record company, Simon Cowell's Psycho is a record company. If you own a record company and you're on TV and you're persuading people to vote for however many weeks for their favourite act, which is whoever wins is going to be your act on your label, that can't be fair. It can't be right. And yet everybody accepts it, and well, that's just how it is. And ever since then, ever since their first number one, and the first number one, as far as I don't know, was Gareth Gates and Will Young the first two to get to I don't know, I can't remember.
No idea, I can't remember.
Me neither, but whoever it was, if it was just a one-off, and you say, and now it's fair on everybody again, you'd kind of say, well, it just shows you the power of television and all the rest of it. But now it's expected that it's going to be that way every year, and I just feel very, very sad, because what I yearn for, and I look at chart shows, and I'm very hypercritical of chart shows, because they don't represent me in any shape or form. And when I was a kid, a little kid, tiny kid, 70s, 80s, there was something in the charts that represented everybody, the old and the young. You might have a Perry Como, not necessarily your cup of tea, I'm guessing here, Bob, but you might have Perry Como singing "It's Impossible," beautiful crooning ballad, and in the charts with it, you'd have some reggae, bit of Bob Marley, and then along with that, you'll have a rock band. Iron Maiden might be in there, or Free, or some rock kicking, and then you go to the next one, and you've got disco or dance. That's how it should be. We should have a chart for everybody, and now it's for kids that are aged, I'm guessing, 14 to 17.
Yeah, it's very, very specific, isn't it?
I think so. I just think it's wrong. In a way, I would love to try and persuade the company that I'm currently on to put together a greatest hits chart and have it running every week. And you plug in new suggestions for new songs to go into the greatest hits chart. Songs that have already been, or album tracks that were not hits at the time, but are so good, maybe they should be in the chart. Because I can see mileage in that, because quality always comes back and bites you in the tail. You never get rid of quality. But how many of Simon Cowell's acts are around any length of time? And it's usually about one every 3 years.
Yeah, and you can always spot the ones that are gone because they're the ones that turn up on I'm a Celebrity.
Well, there you go. Because, I mean, when Raksu, there's a guy from Raksu on there, and you're thinking, he seems a pleasant enough lad. Can you name any of their hits?
I didn't even know who he was or what he was from. So I've got no chance of
well, there
naming
you go.
anything.
But that kind of tells you where the reality of it is. And yet people who are 14 to 17 probably loved it, probably danced to it, and they've got it on their iPod. And hey ho. But it's just, I just think it's a shame, because kind of like you, I was looking forward to seeing what new Christmas songs came out by other people. I mean, Mariah Carey's song was great when it came out, and it was obviously a new one that was going to join all of the old standards that we seem to have had since the 70s, most of them. And we could certainly do with some new ones from new acts, but just not ones that we have to vote for on the television.
I thought it was nice seeing that Robbie Williams is bringing out a specific Christmas album, and it's very traditional, and I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look back into history, Frank Sinatra brought out about 4 Christmas albums. A lot of the big stars have all done it. Dolly's got a Christmas album. Why not? If you've got a great voice, and that guy might be your hero, Robbie. I know a lot of people love Robbie. So they're going to buy the album, and it's going to be a little collector's item. Kylie's done one I saw as well. Why not? Why not? I mean, if they're gonna make money, because they can't get in the charts anymore.
No,
these people, and that's how sad is that? The talent that they've got, they can't get in the charts, and why? Because of somebody that you haven't heard of is being pushed by certain radio stations, and that's all you're gonna get from them. I love the idea of a greatest hits chart. Don't know what would be in it. I don't know how you'd even do it, because it can't be from sales and downloads, or maybe it could. Who knows?
Now, what you need is an app for somebody to vote for their favourite songs, so that they can literally physically put it in. Because it's again, it comes down to, it's a bit like Christmas as a kid. It was always wondering what record or cassette was going to be in my stocking, if you like.
Yeah.
And whereas today, everything's a download, and it's not the same.
No.
So,
even if you got something that you had to download, you haven't anything. You know, you could go.
Nothing physical,
you go on, because if you hand them a piece of paper and it's got a code on it, there's your present this year.
I remember when I was very young, my brother had the Wars of the World album, and I wanted it so much. And eventually I got it, and it was the fact that you had the album cover, you opened it up, and there was a book inside, and the book was all the artwork, and that was something. I mean, I've still got it today. It's something that was, and it was amazing music anyway, but you don't get anything like that now. Nothing like that at all.
I mean, I remember it as vinyl, as an LP, to use the old parlance, and I've subsequently got it on CD, and yet when I listened to it on CD, and the quality's there, I still had to get the vinyl out because it had the book in.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to have to get a magnifying glass the size of a computer screen to try and read what was in the CD, because it's beyond common sense. If you're going to write words, at least write them big enough so that your average human being, and I don't wear glasses or anything, I don't need glasses, but I couldn't read that. You know, it's like, whoa. No, you get the vinyl out and start from scratch again. I know, but interesting stuff. Anything else while you're on then, Bob?
No, it was just, I just wanted to sort of have my moment talking about the commercialism of Christmas and how it needs to go back to the traditional Christmas, and it should be about the kids and getting together and spending special time rather than spending loads of money on loads of toot that we don't need.
Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. Cheers, Bob. Great hearing from you. Good man.
Take care.
All the best. Also, domestic violence. We're centering on this. We'd love you to be strong enough and brave enough to give me a call. We're talking to Jan from Gateshead in a minute, but a quickie to kind of point out that there are other forms of domestic abuse. First of all, he'd not get a penny. He's talking crap. But the big issue here isn't the fact that he's talking crap. It's that you're daft enough to listen to him. He's stolen from you. He's ripped you off. He's stopped you from being settled and looked after by having half of furniture, her bed, blah, blah, blah. Everything you got straight down the middle, to be very, very fair. Halfy goes each way. That's what you were entitled to. He persuaded you, just sign this, and you gave him your half. And now you think that everything that he does for you is in your best interests. He's poison. I wouldn't talk to the guy. I wouldn't spit in his ear if his head was on fire. Other than that, people making use and abusing people even after they're no longer together. Yeah, there's 1,000 ways that it happens. We got Jan next. Jan is with us in Gateshead. Hello, Jan.
Hello.
Hello to you too. How you doing?
All right.
Good.
Guess what I've been doing?
Yeah.
I've been on my laptop and
right.
trying to figure out how do I get the radio station
right
to listen to you.
So have you got it at last?
And I got it.
Hey!
So I haven't got put the radio, the original radio on. I can just put you on my laptop now, Alan.
Perfect. That's well found. Spread the word. That's brilliant. And thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. So, are you going to get loads more technology for Christmas then? Are you getting other stuff?
It took us ages to just get you on my laptop, man. No, you know how you're talking about Christmas and everything else?
Yeah.
Do you know my kids, they all got the same, right? The lad got different, obviously, because he's a lad.
Right.
So they're all grown up now. So I still get them the same. So there's no argument.
Right, no, I understand that.
Right? They're all up now. They still get presents off it, but not as much.
Right.
Right? This year, right, guess what I'm doing?
I don't know. Are you trying to limit them in some kind of way?
No, they'll get their presents and that, and I'll just keep them
happy.
Sweet.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And there's no arguments at Christmas, right?
That's good. If you can manage it, great.
The grandparents, they get the same, spent, everything, right?
Right.
But this year, because there's a lot of people who need more than what my kids need, me and Alex going to buy gifts for changing lives.
Right.
And this week we're going to go to meet up with someone from the Darcy Dreams.
Right.
And we're going to get some selection boxes.
Fantastic.
Because other people that haven't, yes, we've got Christmas dinner, we've got like bits and pieces, but we don't go over the top.
Right. No,
for Christmas.
Bit of common sense. Why not?
So this year I've told the kids, the adults now, I says I'm going to do the way I want to do Christmas. You will get your presents, but me and Alex going to do something for other kids that have nothing, no chance.
Nice stuff. Hey, good on you. Well
So
done, Jan.
I'm not wasting money.
No, it
it's
sounds
giving
like you.
someone to put a smile on a child's face.
You kind of put a price on it. Well done.
No.
Lovely,
So
Jan.
how are you then?
I'm all right, thank you very much. Glad we've got you at last. That's great news.
But listen, what you going to do for the New Year's Eve?
Well, I know. I'm just building my way with a new station, so small steps, but hopefully it'll get us where we want to be.
Because do you know what? You're going to be a big miss.
I know, because I've been traditionally the North East's
Christmas
New Year's Eve party
New Year, everything.
For donkey's years, I know. So it is
do you know
what
how
it
you're going
is. What it
back
is.
to the old?
Yes.
Old. Do you know what? You should start something off. You doing something to get this Christmas back in tradition.
Old style,
because
hey.
you are the heart of the North East.
Well, bless you, Jan. Thank you very much. We do
That's
what we
you
can.
need to do.
We're trying. Thank you very much for coming on, Jan.
Right.
Take it
See you
easy.
later,
Bye-bye. Oh, what the things that I would do, it goes without question. There's a million things that I can see that would benefit the station that I'm on and give you guys the stuff that you want too. It's a question of positioning yourself so that they're happy enough to let me loose with it all. That's the thing. Fingers crossed. 0191 488 3188. Don't forget you can text Alan plus your message to 61054. And do not forget, tomorrow morning you could win £7,400 with Rossi playing the Morning Mouldy Mystery Oldie. If you get on the website, there's a few clues towards it, and then check him out. 7:30, 8:30 tomorrow morning, if you so desire. Piece of music, and an absolute dazer.
The voice of the North.
Alan Robson's Night Owls, the phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest hits radio.
Now we have a prize, interesting one, because it's Christmas. I thought I'd put some things together that you can give away as Christmas presents if you fancy. Got a classic U2 album. The new album from Andrea Bocelli. It's the Diamond Edition I've got here of his new album called Forever. Ellie Goulding is on this, so is Ed Sheeran, Jennifer Garner, and a host of other celebs of one sort or another, if you fancy that. and a DVD called The King of Crime, a modern gangster epic. So if you fancy any of them, that is going to be your prize. I'm going to give you 4 clues, and tonight I'm really going to annoy you by saying each clue is an anagram. Oh, and I know how much you hate anagrams. But they're all anagrams of relatively short words. The first clue is this. We buy a lot of packaged bread, and it always comes in a sliced what? Okay, you buy a what of bread, essentially. And then it's an anagram of that answer. We buy a lot of packaged bread, usually in a what? Can I have a... And there's also a phrase, nobody misses a slice off a cut. What? There you go. So it's that word, but you've got to make an anagram out of it. And also the second clue, anagram of the Indian word naan, which is a type of bread in itself. Anagram of the Indian word naan. Okay? So that's 2 anagrams down. Lot of emails coming in. Thank you, everybody. Ben... I hate people on their phone. Ben, my boy. Hate people on their phones. I'm in the car while driving. I just give them that evil stare and they will drop their phones. Loving the show. Thank you. And Tony, I've got a large sack full of carrots and coincidentally they're all called Kevin. I will accept a sensible offer if people want to jump that crew because there's a queue of 2,000 waiting for that. Mark, it's been more or less a month and I'm in my flat and I'm loving it. And come and go as I choose. How about that? Good news. Totally loving it. Best move I've made so far. Good to know. And also, talk about things that get you crazy at Christmas. Alan, mate, you're not one of those people who, in a dual carriageway is closing down to one lane, you start queuing 3 miles back. You need to queue in both lanes and filter in like the signs say. No, I hear that, but I was in the last 30 yards. I was right at the front of that queue, and it held me back probably 25 to 30 minutes with the, instead of people just driving, and it was flowing beautiful until they started coming up the side. It's a slip road off a dual carriageway. And also, Stuart says, quickie about food. I went out with friends for a Sunday lunch at a popular pub in North Yorkshire. After a superb dinner, I'd ordered my favourite dessert, spotted dick with custard, and after a few moments the waitress returned saying, I'm sorry, we have no custard. What? No custard? Can't the chef make custard? The chef came out after hearing me and apologised for not being able to make custard. I replied, well, you're not a chef then, are you? You're just a cook. And the pub erupted in applause and laughter. Rumbled at last came a shout, really even I can make custard, says Stewie, the mad monk from Aycliffe, who's currently driving from Le Mans to Calais. Stu, get there safe, man. How tremendous. And also, you know, I was bashing Aunt Bessie before. Chris says, Alan, I'm with you, Bessie bashing. We started a couple of years ago making these bad boys, and he's got pictures of Yorkshire puddings with pigs in blankets cooked in the Yorkshire pudding. Oh, yeah, they look amazing. Pigs in blankets in the hole. These ones don't look too great, but honestly, they taste sensation. And if Aunt Bessie comes out with these, I'm suing for intellectual property. I'm 36. Is that counted as young? And I listen to classical music. Now, well, this is the thing. I think people listen to a lot more than people give them credit to. And Tim says, I absolutely agree with you. A greatest hits chart with new entries is a great idea. Get it suggested, says Tim. Well, I will. There you go. Have to do that. Hollywood McShane, pass that one on. A greatest hits chart is a great idea. So say the public. And let us quickly dive across to Kenton, because we're talking about road ragey incidents and things that drive us mad. Newcastle Evening Chronicle tonight. Christmas markets rage. Took everybody 2 hours to get out of the city because so many people had come to check out the Christmas market. I think that's what Davy in Kenton's talking about. Hi, Davy.
Alan.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Hello, it's the whipster, Davy.
Hey, brilliant. How you doing? Good lad.
Hello, pal.
Hi.
Anyway, it's just, is you on about the market?
Yeah.
It's great. Don't get us wrong, it's fantastic. Great idea.
Right.
But, like, traffic, I'm thinking of the elders, you know what I mean? Getting home.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, were you there today?
I've been there. It's chaos, man.
Is it? Right.
I've been in the town today. It's chaos. The metros are off. Everything's off, you know what I mean? And they're putting, like, bus services on. Queues a mile long, just along from the old busy station towards the Granger Market.
Right.
Just ridiculous.
So, I mean, when you're saying things like that it's chaos and what have you, I'm presuming that it's, I mean, the market will be thrilled to know there's so many people.
That's fantastic.
But, so what else can they do to make it better then?
Well, why didn't they move it onto the exhibition park like they do everything else? Or the moor, like the Hoppings?
Right, so that there's bags of room, I mean, tons of room, right.
There's loads of room there, you know what I mean? And they're not going to block the roads, like coming along past the hippie green.
Right. No, I hear you. And presumably it's great that the metro is below where the market is, or where part of the market is.
Yeah.
But
the metros have been off with something to do with the lines or something, isn't it?
Well, that's the point. I mean, it's great having them there if they're working. If they're not working, everybody's getting the metro in and just coming out into the chaos of it all.
But the bus routes have all changed, where the 3940s come through the hippie green.
Right.
Them are like detouring and can run past the gate and then coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just ridiculous. All the buses are getting... it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think, like...
So, I mean, what's there at the market then? What's the highlights of the market? Did you get any food or did you...
Oh, did I get any food? I'm just a walking eating machine, innit? I'm not the skinny person you met years ago, you know.
So what did you get?
Well... I'm not saying, you know, because I'm supposed to be on a diet.
All right, okay. So you just picked.
I've got a canny bit of grub.
Because this the thing that I like best about the market is
it's the food.
It's you go from smell to smell, though, don't you?
It is, though. Aye, that's what you do. You follow your nose, you know. That's exactly like a beagle on you. If I can be honest, like.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Caribbean food, Greek food. Oh, donuts.
Aye. Plenty jam. Plenty chocolate.
Yeah.
Nutella.
Nutella, the thing. Because I remember watching somebody at one market that had that, like, it looked like a record player, the thing spinning around, and you put the batter on it, and...
Oh, it just flies all over.
Yeah, I could murder one now.
Is next to the monument there's a place.
Uh-huh.
And, unreal the food there. Like, I says, can I have a taster? He says, aye. I says, I'll buy some off you now.
Right.
And aye. But it's just the traffic-wise. I think of the elders, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Hey.
They don't want to be standing that sort of... as you said before, like 45 minutes just to get from, like, one bus stop to another bus stop.
Bit much,
That's
isn't
crazy.
it? It is.
And then you've got to travel up past the library, up towards, like, City Hall, to turn left towards... to go into the Haymarket way. That's the way our buses go, like where I'm from.
Yeah. What a dance, though, the whole thing, isn't it?
Aye. Remember the bed push?
I'd never forget it, from the valley, absolutely.
From the Kenton Mansion.
Absolutely right.
We had your Santa Claus on the bed. We're still talking about it, you know.
Is that right? Bless you. Hey, no, happy memories. Great hearing from you, Davey. Stay well, mate. Thanks for coming on.
That's great. And have a lovely Christmas and all you night owls there.
Bless
hope
you.
I get some feedback on this. Thank you very much.
Well, I hope so too. What about it then? Do tell. So we're going to have a quick chat with Liz, then we're going to clag a tune on for you. Christmas market then, have you had a bit of a dally with it too? 0191 488 3188. And I was lucky enough to be in Paris one year when their Christmas market was on, and it's the full length of the Champs-Élysées, and it's all bright and glittery. It was the year after the shooting in that nightclub, so there was hardly anybody there. And because there was hardly anybody there, when you walked up it, people would say, do you want to try some soup? So you got like half a cup of soup. Then you'd go to the next one and give you half a cup of a different soup. Then the next one, do you want to have this small sausage sandwich there? Do you like it? Yes, it's lovely. And then you eat it, and you have like 10 stalls up, and you've eaten so much, you're never going to buy anything. But nature of the fair. We love the clot. We love having an excuse to be somewhere where it's different, even if it's just for a little while. And why the hell not? But what's your view of all of this traffic business? It sounds like it was a bit of they dropped a pig's lug, as we say in the north. 0191 488 3188. Do not forget the competition DVD, a couple of CDs as well, that you can certainly give for Christmas presents if you win them. But you've got to work out our 4 anagrams and then tell me what the 4 answers have in common. Liz is with us. She's in Newcastle upon the Tyne. Hello, Liz.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling.
Good morning.
It is. Good morning to you too. What are you talking about then, Liz?
You were mentioning Christmas presents, useless Christmas presents before.
Yes.
Well, my kid said to me, Mum, what do you want for Christmas? And I thought, oh, God, not another box of chocolates that'll last till Easter. Not another bottle of perfume that I don't need, it's going to go off.
Yeah.
So I says to them, right, there's 2 of them. I says, right, okay, you buy us a shower, you buy us the tiles, and you pay for them being on. It looked at me, and they went. But, Mum, I says, listen, I need my bathroom done. You want to buy us something for Christmas, then that's what I want.
Right. Oh, blimey.
So one of them bought the shower.
Brilliant.
The other one bought the tiles, paid for the bloke to put them on.
Ah, excellent.
So then the following year they said, Mum, what do you want? And I thought, I says, right. I says, my kitchen needs doing. One of you can pay to plaster the walls and the other one can pay to put the tiles on. Well, I didn't want perfume. I didn't want chocolate.
No, but this is it.
Sit in the bath.
I know, but traditionally, you'll know yourself, dads, socks. There used to be socks and ties, but ties are so far back now, nobody bothers with them. But it's socks, jumpers, scarves, yarn, and mums, you're quite right, chocolate, perfume, teddy bear. You probably teddy bear and perfumed up the kazoo, so shower and tiles. It's just, where does this end? Eventually, do you not just say, well, I need a new house now, I'm going to upscale, because you've already done every room now. What happens when you get to the end of the house is done?
I think I'll be too old for anything else by then.
Great answer.
But I've got to sit in the bath and look at them walls, so I may as well get them done.
No, absolutely. And the stuff that you're asking for, and I know it sounds a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, it's probably the cost of all of the little crappy things together. But instead, you get something that you really need at the end of it.
Exactly. Well, since the dad died, the house had to be done.
Right.
So that was the most practical thing for me to have done, instead of them giving me money and chocolates.
Right. And absolutely, what happened traditionally, we always thought that women loved chocolates just because it was easy for men. Well, we just got to buy them. She'll be happy with a box of chocolates. She'll be happy with a bit of perfume. She'll be happy with and they were all things that we considered bankers, if you know what I mean, because it meant we didn't have to think. And women deserve us thinking about them properly. That's
no, but I've still got a box of chocolates come Easter. So, the grandparents eat them, so they're not really mine, are they?
No, this is true. Well, the other things we were mentioning, I don't know a dad that's ever been thrilled to get a ball of socks for his Christmas or a birthday. You know what I mean? Oh, socks, thanks, son. And I remember me nana used to buy me handkerchiefs. Now, I do blow me nose, usually on a paper one. I would never think of taking my handkerchief with me initial on it. Do you know what I mean? Who uses them now?
No, nobody does that now.
Hanks, I've blown my nose 19 times on this cloth. Can I put it in with the washing? No, you can't. Set fire to it in a field.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, you sound like you got it sussed, though, Liz. I mean, you're doing well. What's this year, then?
What's this year?
Yeah, I mean, what are you getting done this year?
Oh, I'm getting wallpaper for my bedroom.
Brilliant. And are you getting somebody to put it up, or is the family going to do that?
Yes, my son-in-law's a painter and decorator.
Oh, perfect then. There you go. Excellent. So congratulations, Liz. This is the way ahead. If any other mums are listening, I do believe this is the way ahead. And instead of just putting up with any old clot that usually is on sale between garages and the day before Christmas, they start selling it off cheap. Instead of going down that road for your mum, mums are really important. This is a lovely way to look after them, and I think it's I think it's great, Liz. Well done. Anything else, darling?
No, that's it, love.
Great to hear from you. Thanks for coming on. I must have been hard pressed not to like any Bee Gees song. Do you remember when they were? If you go back far enough, like 60s into 70s, they did a thing called a mining. There was some pit disaster they did a song from, and they did songs with, I think it was Robin, whose voice always kind of went, hey, that kind of wobbly thing. Can you remember any of the really early, I've got Hollywood McShane and Dawn from West Switchwood, because the blah is incoming. Do you remember any of them at all?
I just remember the hits, really.
Right.
So
I've probably heard some of the early stuff.
if you played them, I'd probably go, oh, yeah.
Right, well, there was one that was Words, and Words Are All I
I
Have.
know Words.
It's Boyzone, one of Boyzone covered that.
Did they? Well, a lot of them have.
Yeah.
And some of them are just so 60s dated kind of stuff. But once they got going with like your Night Fevers and your Staying Alives and that whole disco explosion, amazing. And of course Grease and all of that. Anyway, let's crack on. Also, we've got a joke in from Dan. What do you call a nun on a motor scooter?
I have no idea.
Virgin Mobile. Okay. I know. That's what I thought too. It's time for the blah, though. What is the blah? It's where we have a chat about the stuff that's texting, that's trending, the stuff that's out there that you guys might want to talk about and comment on too. Joined with the producer to the stars, Hollywood McShane, and Dawn, who's just bought Robbie's new album, and it's half new and it's half old. It's got a bit of swing to it, and everybody will like it because she does.
Just selling it.
Yes.
Did he not answer one of your tweets as well?
He did, yes.
What, Robbie?
He did a live Q&A, and it's not often that his people let him loose on Twitter because he don't know what he's ever going to say that could get him in trouble. But he did a live Q&A, and I was second or third one to get an answer.
And what did he say?
I was asking about the album artwork and if he had how much input he had into it, and he said that he didn't have any input. It was all his wife's idea.
Oh, there you go.
Have
then.
you washed your finger yet? Like the.
Well, what was you doing? No, don't go into that. That's
No,
icky.
a typing finger, you know.
I have screenshotted and printed. I've screenshotted and printed the reply. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna. I went to a completely different place
I
there.
chose not to let my mind.
I'm very sorry.
No.
Tell you what, enough. Let's talk about Monday's national newspaper front pages. We're now into a Monday. What are you going to be reading about after they've rammed one through your letterbox? Well, let's have a look. The Daily Mirror. Apparently, one of the girls in Celebrity, her husband has said stop voting for her to do trials.
So they're going to vote for her now.
Absolutely, by the score.
It's probably the one that broke down. I
It
saw a
is,
clip.
it's
The
Jacqueline.
actress.
Yeah,
Jacqueline,
played-
who I've not heard of.
Played Lauren in EastEnders.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Right, okay. Daily Mirror's headline, though, is another royal exclusive. Andrew's accuser will talk to the FBI. Woman claims the Duke groped her. And the prince has dropped 230 patronages. You know, he was the patron of lots of charities, so he's dropped all of them on the back of this. The Sun, Brexit, then an end to austerity, £650 million a week boost for the National Health Service. Didn't he say that on the side of a bus once? I seem to remember. And that didn't happen. Merry Brexmas and a happy blue year, says Boris, looking frankly, a tad gormless. The Times, Boris again holding up his new manifesto. Johnson places the National Health Service at the heart of a critical election, and Bloomberg's bid to topple Trump in the battle of the billionaires because Trump's being in the middle of being impeached. That Bodie, if we talk to him later, will be loving. The Guardian, Johnson stakes just $2.9 billion in a public spending gamble and revealed China's vast camps for minorities. Have you heard what China do? If you're a Muslim, say, in China, they arrest you and put you in a camp and educate you out of being a Muslim into what they believe.
Wow. That's brutal.
That's what they do. And it makes you wonder if they do it with one religious belief, will they do that with
everyone until
with
they
every
agree
other
with them?
religious? I don't.
Isn't that a bit like Hitlerish?
Hitlerish.
Yeah, like
It's a bit Hitlerish.
No, it's the same sort of principle, isn't it? Like,
It's Hitlerish.
That is a good
I was
word.
trying to think of a different way of putting it.
I like that.
It's definitely that. Daily Mail. Boris delivers a practical plan for thousands more nurses, tax cuts and a Brexit boost as desperate Corbyn blows another $58 billion on a ruinous pledge in the battle of good sense versus nonsense. So you can see which way the Daily Mail's leaning. Daily Express. Boris pledges 50,000 extra nurses. His manifesto promising 33.9 billion boost for the NHS and a 5-year freeze on tax. Now the thing is, if you're getting taxed up the now, the fact that it's going to stay like that for the next 5 years is not necessarily the best thing. What I don't understand, if I'm honest, and because it's the election, we've got to let everybody make their own mind up. But when somebody who's lied their socks off, like Trump does on a daily basis, he just doesn't tell the truth right across the day. If you've got any kind of politician that's known for that, why does anybody believe them? And I can't get my head around it. It's not that I want to stay in or out or in that hokey-cokey of a situation that Brexit is. It's just plain and simple. Everybody's believing people that lie and saying because this must be what I want, but
it's because of social media and stuff. People see a comment and they think it's
They
linked
just
to a
run
party
with
and
it
they go,
and
yes,
believe it.
that's for me.
Well, I've
people
hit
don't
him
look
on
into
it.
it, do they?
My big issue with this is where are they going to get all these nurses from? Because
where they're going to get the
there's
money
not
from
enough
to pay
peop-
for
There's
them.
not enough people training to be nurses because they cut the bursaries.
And they can't get them
to
from
cover the student
get them
fees.
from Europe because it's Brexit, and if Brexit happens, they want assurances so they'd be able to stay if they were successful. Anyway, Daily Star, petrolhead shock, Carnot Jezza Clarkson. I'm another one of your people that you like. I'm now a crusty. Clarkson's jet boat trip hit by global warming. He now admits that it's happening because he's seen an empty riverbed apparently on his grand tour. Do you care?
Well, all the petrol he's used over the years, he's probably added a lot to the global problem.
Information newspaper. And Johnson sets out health and safety manifesto. And then to the Financial Times. Johnson presents post-Brexit vision in low-risk pitch to voters. And then the Daily Telegraph manifesto unveiled. The stakes have never been higher. And Boris is pointing his finger. Must be important. And the Metro newspaper, he's pointing again. The stakes have never been higher. And a movie ban after a machete rampage. There's a new film out about gangs fighting gangs. So gangs went in to watch it in Birmingham and chopped each other to...
Yeah,
Wow.
I heard about that.
I saw the launch of it on last week, so
Does
it
it
must,
look-
must be that one.
Does it look like a good
It's
film?
a proper like London gangstery film, and it's made by them as well.
Mm.
So I mean, they might have just stemmed
But
from
is
that.
that not just purely and simply adding petrol on the on the flame? The Independent newspaper, Fleabag's hot priest prays for a stage win. Don't know what.
Have you seen Fleabag? It's so good.
No, but I've heard good things
You
about
can watch
it.
it on iPlayer. It's free. So it's
Right.
only like 20-minute episodes.
What is it?
It's just a comedy
All right.
about, and he's the vicar in it.
Okay.
So,
Tories attacked for fake pledge on new nurses. That's it. That's all of the newspapers.
There you go.
It's interesting, though, that they're all kind of telling what Boris wanted them to say. I always thought that you'd get somebody that was supporting Corbyn or the Lib Dems or Nicola Sturgeon or any of the other ones, but they've all kind of gone with him, which is odd. I don't know whether... Has money changed hands? I have no idea what's going on. But anyway, over to you, Dawn. What do you got for us all?
So, you know, when you're signing up to websites and you've got to put in the security questions and it's things like name of your first dog or things like that. One airline has come up with a bit of a challenging one where they're asking, what is the name of your favourite child?
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, which has been shared online, and some people are coming up with things like, I can't answer that. My favourite one would be the one that hasn't annoyed me in the last 24 hours.
Right.
Or can I use my dog's name? And the airline have responded saying you can, but you'll have to choose a different dog because you've just broadcast it on social media.
So what if you haven't got a... you see, I think a good one would be, what's your favourite slang word for your private part? Because everybody's got one of them. Not everybody's got a child.
True.
There you go. You couldn't name a child, could you?
Not a
you
favourite.
can.
Yeah.
I could name a child. I think I'd struggle on favourite slang.
For your private area. But it would be unique to you, wouldn't it?
I've got a few, though, so I wouldn't know which one to put in.
Right, okay. Anyway, what you got for us, Tor?
Have you got a favourite word? But not for your private, just in general.
Funny you should mention that.
Just that you like using regularly. Have you got one as well, Dawn?
I know.
I'm trying to think of one that I can actually say on air.
I hate fag. I hate tab. And I hate fart. They're the three words that I really hate. Right. To say what words do I really like?
Is that a word that you particularly like using?
I can't think that. I can think more of the negative than the positive.
Yeah.
What's yours anyway?
I like, a Geordie one like YI, because we're getting the YI on the key side. The
getting
I.
the big YI.
And I think that's quite a good word.
Yeah.
But, well, people have been voting in Scotland for their favourite word, and I don't even know how to say this one, but it's Dreich.
Dreich.
That, you know it. Well, you live up there, so you know it. But that's apparently Scotland's favourite word at the minute.
That's just, I believe that to be the state of the weather.
It is wet, gloomy, cold weather conditions.
Dreich.
In a beat, glakit. Do you know what I mean? and scrunnad. Scunad. Do you know that one?
Scunad means confused in a weird kind of...
Yeah, and glakit. I don't know. You know.
Just reminded me of a Scottish word that I actually do tend to use.
I don't know what glakit is. Night owls. Oh, glakit means stupid or thoughtless.
Glakit sounds...
Scunad means being bored or antipathetic. It's a state of mind where kids, when they haven't got access to their mobile devices, would be scunad.
Yeah. I've just reminded me of a Scottish word that I did like to use.
What's that?
Bahookie.
What's bahookie?
I got told it was a Scottish word by a Scottish friend for your backside.
Bahookie?
Kick up the bahookie.
Oh, I've never heard of that. That's
Is
new.
there any up where you live
It's quite a nice one.
that sticks out?
No. The problem is, it's an interesting mixture on the borders because you move from what is blatant Geordie, I suppose, into Scottish, and most of the words come from the same root, so that they're just pronounced in a slightly different way, which is a lovely and beautiful thing. Speaking of handsome and beautiful things, a band called Duran Duran. We got a chat with the people that did stuff like this. Immediately after a break, you shall hear the very thing.
This is the home of Alan Robson's Night Owls.
With the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And do not forget, tomorrow, Breakfast with Rossi, the home of the Morning Mouldy Mystery Oldie. And have you worked that out? Have you been to the website and checked out our latest clue? Time for a third clue for our competition, and that is the CDs and the DVD. Clue 1. We buy a lot of packaged bread in sliced what? And it's an anagram of that answer that we're looking for. Second clue, anagram of the Indian word naan. The third clue, anagram of pop star seal. Okay? Anagram of pop star seal. S-E-A-L. Okay, so you have 3 anagrams in, and you've got to work out what the anagrams are, and then tell me what they all have in common. You've got one final clue coming within the next 20 minutes. We got Dave from Sunderland with us, though. Hiya, Dave.
Hi, Alan. It's ages since I've spoke to you.
It is. Welcome back. What are you talking about tonight, then, Dave?
I've been talking about some DVDs. I'm getting, like, Alan, I've been getting a few DVDs lately.
Lovely. Like what?
I've got a film called Red Joan.
Red. Oh, I've seen that advertised. It's Judi Dench, isn't it?
Yeah, Judi Dench, yeah.
Is it good?
It's really good, yeah.
What's it about?
It's about the grandmother who gets accused of spying.
Right.
And it's really good.
It's a good film, though. It's worth a watch. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I've got a Diagnosis Murder.
All right, based on is that the TV series?
TV series, yeah.
Dick Van Dyke. Right, okay.
And then at the moment, I'm busy watching The $6 Million Man.
The only thing that didn't do it for me with The $6 Million Man was that he always jumped, and they played that bit of music with... That was the only thing that didn't kind of work for me. It wasn't clangy bangy. It wasn't like doing. You know, it was just an odd noise. Couldn't get away with it. But glad you're enjoying it anyway.
I'm loving my DVDs, like.
Brilliant.
And then I've been getting some vinyl records.
Oh, like what?
I've got a disco one from the 80s and that.
Excellent.
And I've got another 80s record.
Right.
And then I've got a country and western one.
Great. Oh, it's a nice mixture.
Well, that was £20 a piece.
Oof, wow. So how many tracks are you getting for 20 quid a go?
There's about 8 on each one, and there's 4 records in each one.
That's all right. That makes sense. I was going to say, because that's... Yeah, you're being ripped off if there's only one CD for that kind of money.
I love my vinyl. I'm still playing it every night.
That's good. Hey, enjoy it. Enjoy every second.
And I'm going to buy some more stuff tomorrow.
All right. Hey, what you got in mind?
I'm getting the box set of the Police album.
Right. Oh, they can't go wrong with the Police.
I'm going to get a couple of Freddie Mercury CDs.
Right.
And I'm tempted to get Robbie Williams' new one.
Well, Dawn says it works out, but I haven't heard it yet, so I can't comment.
And then I've noticed Bing Crosby's got a CD out.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of his greatest stuff, and that's a classic from right back in the day. But the thing is, I think we should all have music from different times, because
we should.
As long as it's good music, it doesn't matter when it was. It's like people are talking about how a lot of young people don't know anything about classical music. If you're going to play classical music, play good classical music. If you're going to play Bing Crosby, play the good Bing Crosby. Do you know what I mean? As long as you can tell the difference.
In the 80s and that, I used to tape from the charts every Sunday night.
Everybody did that, absolutely.
Who was your favourite DJ in the 80s, Alan?
Oh, I didn't have one. I wanted to get shot of the DJs. I tried to catch the music before they started talking. That was the hard part.
I've got a few tapes with the sound of his voice on a bit, but I don't know if you can remember any DJs, can you?
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, one of my favourites was a guy called Alan Freeman, who played a lot of rock music. But again, I'm lucky enough on Greatest Hits. There's a few big names on Greatest Hits that are just classics from over the years. Mark Goodyear's on the station. Andy Crane's great. So a nice mixture of superstars there.
I used to like Bruno Brooks as well, can you remember?
Yeah, there you go, you see. Around every corner. Hey, but lovely talking to you, Dave. Thank you for coming on.
Can I ask you something else quickly?
Of course you can, yes.
I go in the shopping centre every day.
Right.
Right, and I know these men. I talk to them sometimes, but they're getting a bit too familiar. I've got this jacket and it's got no pockets, so I can't keep my wallet inside it.
Right.
So, and I wear tracky bottoms and that, so I just carry it in a bag. But they've been like trying to snatch me bag for a joke.
Oh, no.
One of them snatched me bag the other week in the shopping centre, and he was running around the cash machine all the time with it.
No, keep away from
That's
those.
the best way. So I went up to the top of the shopping centre out the way and sit out the way of them.
Just don't even go anywhere near them. They're a waste of time. And
They
if they're going to hurt you and upset you like that, it's not worth it.
I've actually put a complaint into the police about it, and they're going to keep a watch what's going on.
Right. Well, it's all CCTV there, but just be careful. Don't mix with them at all.
I won't.
Don't even say hello or whatever. Just walk away, man.
I will.
All right. Good luck to you, David.
See you, Alan.
Thanks, man. You take care. And we've had a few superstars on tonight. Let's have just a quick word from one. Chrissy Hind of the Pretenders. What's the worst pain you think she has ever suffered?
Oh, I've had to, some knee operations. I've had some knee injuries on tour. Feet, just, wear and tear. That's all.
So basic MOT stuff. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. What are you frightened of? You got any rational or irrational fears?
Okay, well, I wouldn't want to talk about them because I don't like to evoke. But yeah, I mean, I can get the supernatural. I can get a little bit derailed if I'm, if I feel something isn't quite right there. But who's, I've not particularly.
That was going to be my next question, whether you'd ever seen a ghost or experienced anything vivid that was...
I think I've experienced... I'm quite sensitive. Have I seen a ghost? Yeah, I'm not sure if I have. I mean, it seems like the kind of thing you remember, but I've forgotten a lot of things, so I may well have...
But you're open to it. When you say you're sensitive, how does that show itself?
Well, I was in Woodstock making a record up at a place that Albert Grossman had, Bearsville Studios.
Right.
And I was staying in the one cottage there. And I couldn't stay in there without every light in the house on. And I'm not really a very nervous person.
Sure.
And no one could. I couldn't even go in that house. I had to move out of that house.
Wow.
In fact, it was a little cottage. And then I later, when I went up to catering, someone said, "Oh, you were down in Turtle Creek," and they all looked at each other. And I thought, okay, there was that. There's been, that was quite a notorious place.
Right.
I've walked into a hotel room, turned around and walked back down to the desk and said I can't stay there, and found out that someone jumped out of the window a couple weeks earlier.
Whoa.
So I'm quite sensitive to that.
No, you do pick stuff up. That's
sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so thanks for mentioning it, because, I try not to think about that stuff too much.
Right, okay. We'll leave it where it is, locked away. And waiting to talk to us, we've got Linda from Beresford. Hello, Linda.
Hello.
Hello, Linda.
Hello, Alan.
Hello.
I just was falling asleep.
Oh, no, don't do that.
No.
She was trying to keep you awake by pretending. There you go. So what have you been up to then?
Been to Crablington.
Oh, very nice. Man of walking?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And went to see Steve and Karen.
Lovely. At the street light switch on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Was it good?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Brilliant. That's good news.
The only problem was it rained all day.
Ah, right.
But you can't do anything about that,
So
can
it was
you?
a bit claggy, but the lights look good.
Yeah.
Right.
What was it? And then I went to the cathedral in the morning.
Right. Oh, very nice.
What was it? With my two great nephews and my niece.
Right. Was that just for a look around, or was there something on there with a
No,
play?
it was the altar service.
All right, yeah.
Luke Cole, he's the altar server.
Gotcha.
So he was doing all the altar servers were getting together.
Right.
It was a mass for them.
Right. Lovely. So it was nice, was it?
It was lovely. It was really.
It's very atmospheric. I once went to a midnight mass.
Yeah.
Leading up to... Now, I'm the least religious person on earth, as you will know. And I went into the back and they were singing carols and I thought it was lovely. And then the drunks started coming in with chips and lager and you're thinking, oh, I'm not a fan of this. And
that's why they stopped it, wasn't it?
yeah, well, I didn't surprise me because... I was saying to the guys, keep your voice down. Would you mind leaving? You shouldn't be eating stuff in here and all that kind of... And that just led to a fracas.
Right.
Which is a bit of a shame. But I can quite get, the atmosphere of at church, the snow gently falling, the sound of carols, and I get all of that, and it's nice. It's a nice kind of atmosphere if you can get it unhindered. That's the
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. So what you got lined up for Christmas? And is the family over or?
No, I'm going to my sister's house.
Oh, fantastic!
I'm going about on the 20th of December.
Right.
And then I'll be going out for dinners and
fabulous.
living it up, Alan.
That is I tell you, if you're going to do it that way for sure.
Right.
Definitely don't let anything get in your way. You have a ball, lass. Why not?
Oh, clumsy.
So what's because I mean, you kind of you've got one Wellington in Germany and another Welly in Wales.
I know. I'm torn between two.
So I mean, the Germans, as far as I know, have like a big Christmas meal the night before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know that my family, they give presents on the night before Christmas.
Right.
Is that the way that you did it or not?
Well, the way that I did it, Alan, was I kept to the tradition of Christmas Day, like an English Christmas Day lunch.
Right.
But on the 24th, I used to bake up a lovely noodle salad with sausages, with hot dogs, you know.
Right.
And then we'd be after we go to church, then come back from church, and then the kids saw that the Christmas lights were on in the house.
Right.
And they knew they were turned off when we went out of the house to church.
Right.
And then when we got back, my husband used to slip round the back to put the lights on.
Gotcha.
And then he'd ring the bell. And then they thought that the Chris Kindle had been.
Right.
It's Chris Kindle.
Chris Kringle, of course, Santa.
Yeah.
Santa himself.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I mean, in Wales, do they do it any different to the rest of us Brits?
I think it's the same, Alan.
To say, I thought so.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's just interesting because across the world we're told that in pretty much every continent there's different versions of Santa Claus. And
on the 6th of December, then the Europeans abroad, you know, they celebrate Santa Claus then.
Right.
You know, of St. Nicholas.
Because, but he is called different things all over the place. I know that when I was...
You know the one, the St. Nicholas with a staff.
Right, with a staff.
Yeah.
Because I know that in France he's Père Noël. He's like Father Noel, Father Christmas.
That's Christmas.
Noel's Christmas in France. So Father Christmas is what he is
in Wales they call him Father Christmas as well.
Right. We did some shows in Norway, and I think it was Julenissen is what he is, and he's just some Italy's Babbo Natale.
Yeah.
It's just wherever you go, there's different names.
They say Nikolaus.
Santa Nikolaus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's that in quite a few of the, not just in Germany. I think that goes over to some of the Eastern Europe countries call him that as well.
Yeah.
Fascinating though, because everybody's got their own version of the traditions, if you know what I mean.
On the way to see Joe McKeltry as well, Alan.
Oh, was he good?
I'd been up since 5 o'clock in the morning.
Blimey.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Went to the cathedral, went to the banner walks, went then to... I saw Angela, you know, the Kilt of Ange, and we went to see Joe McKeltry, and I was enjoying it. And then I kept on nodding my head and falling asleep.
Right.
And then every now and then I'd wake up, and then I'd go back to sleep again. I'd wake up again. And Angela said, "You've got to keep awake, man. You've got to keep awake." I said, "I can't. I can still hear it, even though I'm sleeping."
This is the thing that my dad used to do when I was little. My dad used to love the wrestling on a Saturday. It was on between 4 and 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it was the British style wrestling, none of this American professional stuff.
Jackie
this was
Pallow and stuff like that, was it?
Mick McManus and Vic Faulkner and all these kind of people. Kendo Nagasaki. And my dad used to, he'd be in from about 3 o'clock, working 6 till 2, had his tea by 3 o'clock, wrestling on at 4. By 4:10, he's fast asleep. But if you change the channel, you go, I'm watching that.
That's exactly
Every time I'm watching that.
That's exactly like my dad. we used to do the same. We think, oh, go to the telly. Dad's sleeping. Go to the telly. I was just watching that.
I think Dad's a universal, absolutely universal. Anything else, Linda?
Pardon?
Anything else, my love?
Anything else? What else? What happened? Let me think.
Don't know.
And then there was the St. Paul's anniversary.
Right.
St. Paul's church in Crabbington.
All right.
Well, we got together. And Father Peter was there as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, what was this? Had a little chat with him.
So you're keeping
he
in
was
touch.
gutted.
Because he's been helpful to you, which is good.
You know, I feel so sorry for him. You know, because I mean, it's good that he's got like promotions and things going in the cathedral, but he's working like an altar server, if you know what I mean.
Right.
He's an assistant priest.
Right.
So when the celebration's going on, he's got to do the donkey work sort of thing.
Right.
You know
well,
what
I mean, whenever you get a new job, you've got to do the donkey work. Yeah. You know, that's just how it is. Nobody likes it. You think
I know it's a shame, though, isn't it?
It's just how it is. Not the worst in the world.
He couldn't come to the party, the after parties. He had to go back to the cathedral.
Right.
Oh, bless
That's
him.
a shame. Hey, well, lovely talking to you. We'll catch up soon. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, then, Alan.
Take care, Alan.
Night owls.
Bye-bye. That's sweet. And we also have Bodie on. Let's get our dose of Bodie from Middletown in Cincinnati, USA. Hello, Bodie.
Hey, how we doing?
I'm doing great. I want to find out about this impeachment thing. How's it going?
Oh, it's going swimmingly. It's going just as I thought it would. It's wonderful.
Right. Well, tell us the details.
Well, I've been watching the hearings, the preliminary hearings.
Right.
They're basically an investigation to see if impeachment is going to go forward.
Right.
The wonderful Nancy Pelosi arranged it. And Adam Schiff is a wonderful moderator for this. He's been having one stellar witness right after the other. And a couple of them were, previously on Trump's side.
Oh, right.
And, and they have dumped him in the poo, so to speak.
Right.
So,
because over here it just seems we're not hearing a lot about it, and it just looks like Trump's just going along as business as normal.
No. He's starting to lose his mind slowly. The scuttlebutt is that he's going around the White House being more and more emotionally unstable around people. And, he's got, those chopper talks he has where he goes out onto the White House lawn and shouts at the press under the noise of the chopper blades. Well, he started to contradict himself, continuously contradict himself so badly now that it looks like he's completely lost his grip.
Right.
They had the minority leader, Devin Nunes, who is a slimy little individual during the impeachment hearings, had no defense for Trump. The best he could do during that entire situation was try to get them to reveal the name of the whistleblower.
Right.
And finally, a very angry Adam Schiff said, you don't want to know the name of the whistleblower for any legal reason. It's just that he was caught doing wrong,
right?
And you want to punish the person who squealed on you.
Right.
And that's pretty true. You know?
Absolutely. And who knows what would happen, because, I mean, the last time somebody threatened Trump or said bad things about him, we had all of those bombs sent left, right, and centre.
Yeah. Well, Trump does things in the manner of the mob boss.
Mm.
And now he's getting his pair of cement overshoes from the impeachment committee. And Lindsey Graham, who is an obsequious little monster, this is the guy, Lindsey Graham, who said that Donald Trump was an insane, unstable lunatic that didn't belong in the White House. This was in 2014. But anyway, this guy is now saying he's going to open an investigation on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and try to find out who the whistleblower is.
Right.
He's just he's a nasty little weasel.
Seems to be the case. I mean, when are we likely to hear what comes of this? Because is this going to end his presidency?
I'm sitting in hope. But Nancy Pelosi has said that they are anxious to wrap up this entire thing before Christmas. They hope to set up the articles of impeachment, and this is at right now we are 2 years ahead of where Richard Nixon's impeachment was. It took 2 years to impeach Nixon. But it's not going to take 2 years to impeach Trump. And Nixon didn't even get impeached because he made a deal, and he stepped down to avoid impeachment because he knew he was going to go to jail.
No, for sure.
But the stuff that Trump has done it's a magnitude worse than what Richard Nixon did. And Trump knows that if he gets impeached and they're successful, he's going to go to jail. It doesn't matter what his title is. I mean, if you're impeached, you're not the president anymore.
No, that's
They take that job right away from you. And Pence is implicated right along with him, as is Moscow Mitch and a whole bunch of them.
Right. Well, hey, we'll be watching. Bodie, we had to catch up with you. So glad we did. Thanks for taking some time with us, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Love to all the owls. Have a good one.
Love to you.